The Weary Blues is a poem by Langston Hughes that's about an African American piano player and the expression of his experiences with racial inequality in America.
Droning a drowsy syncopated tune, rocking back and forth to a mellow croon, I heard a Negro play. Down on Lenox Avenue the other night, by the pale old parlor of an old gas light, he did a lazy sway, he did a lazy sway. To the tune of those weary blues, with his ebony hands on each ivory key, he made that poor piano moan with melody. Oh blues. Swaying to and fro on his rickety stool, he played that sad raggy tune like a musical fool. Sweet blues. Coming from a black man's soul, oh blues. In a deep song voice with a melancholy tone, I heard that Negro sing that old piano moan. Ain't got nobody in all this world, ain't got nobody but myself. I was gonna quit my frowning and put my troubles on the shelf. Thump, 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 on his foot on the floor, he played a few chords and sang some more. I got the weary blues and I can't be satisfied. Got the weary blues and can't be satisfied. I ain't happy no more, and I wish that I had died. And far into the night, he crooned that tune. The stars went out and so did the moon. The singer stopped playing and went to bed, while the weary blues echoed through his head. He slept like a rock or a man that's dead.
The author of this poem, Langston Hughes, was a prominent figure in the Harlem Renaissance, a literary movement that developed in the 1920s in New York City. Because of this, he helped establish African American art and literature and American culture. There was an understanding of the black struggle in America and his education in Lincoln University, the United States' first historically black university. He was able to focus on presenting his portrayals of black lives through novels, short stories, plays, and poetry. In this poem, The Weary Blues, first published in 1925 at the height of the Renaissance, Hughes writes about a black piano player in Harlem, which at that time was a heavily segregated neighborhood in New York City. The poem seeks to convey the feelings of injustice through an outlet of something more beautiful, a song. As such, this poem is a reflection on the beauty of black art, but also all the pain that lies beneath it. Just like lyrics can convey a deeper meaning, this poem reflects on the pain and beauty of black art. When writing this poem, Hughes chose a very unconventional format. The Weary Blues is broken up into two stanzas, the first one longer than the second. There is no set traditional form like a sonnet or haiku. Instead, Hughes tries to capture the feeling of the blues, a music genre or form which originated in the deep south of the United States around the 1860s by African Americans from roots in African American work songs and spirituals. Hughes seeks to not just describe the blues in the poem, but also imitate it with the use of rhyme, repetition, and alliteration.
The poem also does not have an established meter. The lines fluctuate in length, ranging from 2 syllables to 14. However, the poem does not need a meter to have rhythm. Instead, Hughes uses a more syncopated rhythm, similar to that of a classic blues song. In addition, Hughes does not follow any one specific rhyme scheme. The rhymes throughout the poem are both unpredictable and uneven, some parts not even rhyming at all. These all help make the poem have the feel of a blues song. However, there are many rhymes throughout the poem, and those are often presented in rhyming couplets isolated from each other by a single line or rhyming schemes. For example, in lines 13 through 15, he played that sad raggy tune like a musical fool, Sweet Blues, coming from a black man's soul. Lines 25 through 30 follow a rhyme scheme of A, B, A, B, C, B. I got the weary blues and I can't be satisfied. Got the weary blues and can't be satisfied. I ain't happy no mo', and I wish that I'd died. The final 5 lines of the poem follow a rhyme scheme of A, A, B, B, B. And far into the night he crooned that tune. The stars went out and so did the moon. The singer stopped playing and went to bed, while the weary blues echoed through his head. He slept like a rock or a man that's dead. It can be seen from these 2 examples that Hughes does employ the use of standard rhyme schemes in his poem, but it's so irregular that his poem cannot be said to have an overall rhyme scheme. Hughes uses alliteration, assonance, and consonants to help emphasize the overall sadness that the pianist is playing. For example, droning a drowsy syncopated tune and he made that poor piano moan with melody in lines 1 and 10 highlight the melancholy of the air. Similes like he slept like a rock or a man that's dead in the last line are present in order to show that the pianist is not only tired from playing the piano, but tired from dealing with his life struggles. Symbolism is also present in the poem, and far into the night he crooned that tune, the stars went out and so did the moon. In modern culture, the stars and moon represent hope and guidance. This is true in this case, as the pianist's hope guidance also cease. Finally, Hughes personifies the moan of the piano and contrasts its ivory keys to the pianist's ebony fingers in order to highlight their blackness and life struggles. These literary devices all help contribute to the imagery and feeling of blues that Langston Hughes attempts to convey in this poem. With this, the impact of the poem helped push for African American culture and society through the Harlem Renaissance.